It was on 11th May 1981 that Bob Marley died. And remembering those days, of course, I was a rumba person, but it was equal rumba and reggae. But because reggae used to be in English and rumba used to be in Lingala, I can say mostly I was a reggae person. On the basis of that, I would say I was more of a reggae person than a rumba person. Those days, uh, I was not very much. Um, I was not very much his person, and I can tell you that those people I knew, we preferred Eddie Grant. We preferred Eddie Grant more than Bob Marley. Of course, I later came after he had died. I later came to understand that people like Eddie Grant were joined later. They joined him later, but the people who made reggae be internationally known were three. The people who made reggae be known were three. There was Bob Marley, there was Peter Tosh, Peter McIntosh, and Barney Livingstone. Those are the people who internationalized the thing. But by the time I caught up, I used to like the music of Eddie Grant because you'd find songs of Bob Marley were encouraging taking drugs. They were encouraging such things. But Eddie Grant, if you look at the music that Eddie Grant used to have, they were very much educative and very much positive. For example, Eddie Grant would talk about "Give me love, Joanna, give me such things." But Bob Marley, easy skanking. He even in his song tells you how to prepare a concoction of drugs. Before I talk about the day he died, let me give a small history of Bob Marley and reggae. Actually, when Bob Marley died, we used to call it reggae. Reggae. We didn't know that it was reggae, but later on we came to know that it was reggae. There is somebody who was a music producer with Island Records. This person used to record music with Island Records from London. He went for holiday in Jamaica. Jamaica is near the equator, so it is a bit hot. And you see, if you are in a certain field and you go visit, it's like supposing you are a farmer. Supposing you are a farmer and you visit a certain place for holiday, let's say Mombasa. You'll want to see farmers how they go there. You would want to see what type of crops they do, such a thing, just as a hobby. So this fellow was a musician, a music producer with Island Records. He went to Jamaica. When he went to Jamaica, he he went to Jamaica and he went to Kingston town. Then he decided to go to those slums. He decided to go to those slums to see if you are a Kenyan. It's like going to the slums of Kibera to listen to Ohangla music, or going to the slums of Madare to listen to Momboko, something like that. So he went to Trench Town. He went to Trench Town, and you see it. It is so much backward that they even called the place Trench Town. So he went there and met three. Went to one of the clubs. When we went to one of the clubs, he met three people who were singing. He met the three people who were singing. One of them, they were the following. One was Bob Marley, Robert Nesta Marley, and then Peter McIntosh and Barney Livingstone. Their songs used to be about wailing. I ought to complain they were wailing. So they called themselves the Wailers. So he listened to the music And when he listened to the music, he felt that if he produced that music, music would sell. He approached them and he asked them if they would accept to do that. They said, of course, when you are down there, you accept any offer. It is when, like now, if you are somewhere and you are called to a meeting, appearance fee may be 10,000 now, but if you become popular, you not even accept 500,000. So since they were two down, they accepted. And in those years, mostly bands used to have a band leader. So you'd find TPOK and Franco. You'd find Afriza with the Tabule, such things. It used to have a leader. But when he asked them who their leader was, they said they are leaderless. They are leaderless. GNC thinks that they are the ones who started that. So they said they were leaderless. They were just three. They were called Wailers. So he took their video and any audio recording, went to London to produce it, but his colleagues insisted that the band has to have a band leader. Then it was just by chance that he chose one name. He chose the name Bob Marley. So he wrote Bob Marley and the Wailers. Bob Marley and the Wailers. When the record started selling, uh, when the record started selling, these other two felt they have been shortchanged because just like Gene C, they were leaderless. How comes that Bob Marley has planned with this Mzungu to put there his name? But you see, they even looked at it in a more defined way. Bob Marley was not a pure African. Bob Marley mother was an African, and his father, who was called Marley, Captain Marley, was a Scottish sailor, was a Scottish Navy officer. So they felt that this fellow being half a Mzungu, a mulatto, he had agreed with the Mzungu to undermine them. So they were not happy. And then this Mzungu came back to Jamaica, Kingston, and told them they can now move to London where they can make a lot of money. But they felt that they cannot move out of the Jamaica, which they felt was a holy land. So they refused and insisted on staying there. They insisted on staying in Jamaica. Bob Marley, having seen that he had made names, he recruited other musicians and they went to London and became international. Peter McIntosh changed his name to Peter Tosh and he started his own solo group. But Bunny Livingstone changed his name to Bunny Wailer, and then he refused. I think he even died before without moving out of Jamaica. Now let us go back to the day Bob Marley died. I said some of us who were genuine with the messaging of the music, we preferred, we did not prefer Bob Marley because of the messages that he used to send. So there was a day when the school was being opened. In April there was school holiday. The school holiday was there in April, and our school had a turntable. The school had a turntable, but the students were required to just come with their own records, and the school used to buy the battery to play that, so we could buy our own. And I was looking for the songs for that musician, especially Give Me Love Johanna and others. So I went to town, Nairobi. I was a student at Bungoma High School doing my Form 6. So I went there is Ronald Ngala, and Ronald Ngala, with a place called Tusker Bus Stop. Tusker Bus Stop, they used to sell records there. So I went there. I wanted to buy that record, Give Me Love Joanna. But the person who was selling did not have that one. He had the record Zimbabwe. So I bought the record Zimbabwe just because I did not have Give Me Love for Joanna. Give Me Love Joanna was singing about Johannesburg, where Boas used to harass South Africans. So I missed that song and bought this. And then when I missed the song, I bought that one. We went to school. We had just reopened school, even not so many days had gone. Then we had Bob Marley had died. That is when Bob Marley now shot and became shot his cells and whatever. These are people, in my view, who become more popular in death than alive. Than alive. But even before that, a year before, Zimbabwe got independence in 1980. A year before he died, he was the guest of honor in Zimbabwe's independence because of the song Africana Liberate Zimbabwe. He had sung that song, and these, what do we call, freedom fighters were saying in Zimbabwe when they were, by then Zimbabwe used to be known as Rhodesia, that when they were in the forest fighting, that song used to motivate them. It used to motivate them, and that is why he was called in as the guest of honor in Zimbabwe's official during the independence. Uh, that is all for today. I can talk about the day Bob Marley died, 11th May 1981. Thank you.